Jam lines. All right, let's go. Here we go. This is Robert. Robert, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening. Enjoyed watching the film clip.
Yeah, interesting.
I had to say, you know, earlier I noticed you made the comment that you thought maybe the people would rise up.
I didn't say that's what Aaron said that. It would take the people to do that.
All right. I just never felt that the people will. I think they've been cowed, they're intimidated, and they're apathetic.
Do you believe they should rise up?
I think it would be a good idea, but they'd be quashed. I don't think the government would cease for 1 minute to quash it in a violent manner.
Yeah.
And
but rising up, I don't think necessarily means like, you know, the old Irish revolutionary, the rising.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, I don't. That's not what I talk about.
Right.
I'm talking about like what Martin Luther King and Gandhi did. I think that people should rise up. I think they will rise up because people will not take. There's millions and millions of people in America know that there's something wrong. I heard a song the other month, and the song was titled "There's Something in the Air, but It's Not on the Airwaves." Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what's happening in this country. There are millions of people who are fed up with what's happening in this country, don't know where to turn, don't know what to do, and they're sick and disgusted of what's happening. And they will rise up because that's the way people do things. Well, and when you can have nonviolent marches and boycotts, see, the government cannot do anything unless we cooperate. They depend on our cooperation. Once we stop cooperating, there's nothing they can do.
If you could do it in a organized fashion, that's good. But what I think is, as soon as it got momentum, they would take control and put it down.
One thing,
well, you're a defeatist. Yeah. I don't believe that.
No, I'm a realist. I'm seeing what's going on in this country.
But one of the things that you're starting to see, for instance, on the issue of illegals, you know, people are blowing off, okay, call me this name, call me that name, but the anger is building. And or for instance, the war in Iraq or the Bush foreign policy things, they're, in spite of people telling you that everything's okay, it's not okay. And I think that there's again, we're using the word the awakening. I think it's more than a rising. I think it's an awakening. And one thing we know for sure, in politics, if enough people move in one direction, inevitably some politician tries to run out and lead the parade. And just look across the city through the events we've seen in the state. We have, with one or two exceptions, some terrible examples, and they're politicians. They're not statesmen.
The truth. May I say one more thing?
Sure, of course.
The truth is, the Congress has the legal authority to shut down the Federal Reserve System. If you shut down the Federal Reserve System, you have enough people demanding it, and the Federal Reserve System gets shut down, this country will return to normalcy again. That you have to cut down the head of the beast. And I believe we have the ability to close down the Federal Reserve System, and they're going to be screaming. And if you go see my movie, at the end of the movie, there's a call to action for what the American people can do to save this country from where it's heading. And I suggest you see the movie and take the call to action to heart.
This is Jack. Jack, you're up. Good evening.
What is it we can do on a local level, maybe not so much the national level? What can we do, you think, to stem this tide?
I'll tell you what I think you can do. I think anybody that's running for office, do not vote for them unless they're willing to sign an affidavit that they will vote to shut down the Federal Reserve System. Congress has the authority to do that. Anybody running for senator, anybody running for Congress in this state, do not vote for them unless they're willing to sign an affidavit saying...
But they won't. I mean, reality says they won't.
Excuse me?
I mean, reality says...
Well, if reality says they won't...
They won't.
And we can't organize enough people to make it happen, then we're going to lose. But my belief is that I can see off my website, there are thousands upon thousands of people set up on my website that want to shut down the Federal Reserve System. And a lot of times politicians want to go to churches and get the congregations to vote for them. You don't let them speak unless they want to sign that affidavit. The American people have to be heard and recognize the fact that the biggest problem this country has is the illegal Federal Reserve System, that they're running our country, that the people behind this reserve system are running this country. And until we shut that down, we're never going to succeed, because it's not Republicans and Democrats. You must shut down the Federal Reserve System.
Jack, thanks. What I was getting ready to come over and see tonight, and I'm watching. We've had a terrible tragedy, school shootings again in our state, but interspaced are all these commercials for people running for office, and 80% of them, they're attacking each other, and 20% they're promising what they're going to do. And I know most of these people.
It's all such deceit.
Yeah, it is.
It's
I mean,
deceit.
this guy says something, this guy attacks him, then they run the 527s where they say this, and then they attack that guy, and then they attack this woman, and then this guy promises, and that guy promises. And I know these people. It's all hooey.
Of course it's hooey. You need a statesman. You need people who really care, who are sincere, who are honest. Sincerity is very important. There's no sincerity left in politics. They'll say whatever they have to say to get into office. It doesn't mean anything, their word. Politicians will sell their soul for $1. That's the bottom line. We need to bring people into office who are sincere and honest, who care and understand the Constitution. We have a Constitution here. Live by it. And until elections are not run by the amount of money you have.
But they are.
Well, they are now. I'm telling you, get rid of the Federal Reserve System, and you'll find everything in this country change.
This is Grant. Grant, you're on the show. Good evening.
Yeah, I felt for years that our country was kind of going towards fascism, or at least stronger than what like Russia was. As Russia declined and we saw their freedoms growing, we've kind of seen ours lose.
It
and we've lost a lot of ours. Another thing is, how can a country that goes to another country to impress freedom upon their people sit there and justify torturing citizens to get information that they are claiming to us as Americans is beneficial to us? Where does it end? I mean, next is us.
You must understand something. We did not go to Iraq to bring freedom to Iraq. We're in Iraq, and we keep talking about promoting democracy. What we're promoting is a one world government, a new world order. When they use the word democracy, just take that word democracy out and put in New World Order, One World Order, globalization. Put in any of those words in its place of democracy. That's what it's about. But what does they use democracy as a spin word, because you think we are a democracy and democracy equates to freedom. Democracy does not equate to freedom. Understand that.
And it's the same as the elections. It's all a spin.
Exactly. You got it.
Thank you. Let me ask you this. What's the ultimate aim? And what does it look like when they get there? If what you say is true and what others say is true, and there's many, many people that believe as you believe, I'm sure you know that, what does it look like when they get there?
Well, I can tell you, I was friends with one of the Rockefeller family, okay? And they were very much behind the Federal Reserve System, the banking, the Council on Foreign Relations, and we were very good friends. And he told me that what they really want to do is have a one-world government without borders. First, you have the European Union, the European Constitution,
the EU.
which the European people voted down, by the way, but they're doing it anyway. Yeah. Now they want the North American Union. Right. Then they have the one currency. Now they want to do
they have their own standing army.
Yep. But now they want a North American Union.
Yeah.
And then what they want to do is bring everybody together under one.
The Amero is there.
The Amero, the currency, exactly.
I didn't know it is there.
And so their plan is to have a government for the world. They want to do it through the UN. Right? And have everybody on this earth implanted with an RFID chip.
Do you believe that?
I know that. Didn't you hear the congressman, the senator, asking the Supreme Court justice how he's going to rule on that in my clip? You think he asked them for no reason? They're already implanting people with chips. The national ID card, which becomes law by May 2008, it's going to have an RFID chip in it. Okay, everything is done in stages. After the RFID chip goes in the card and in your passport, it's going to go into your body. That's what they're going to try and do. There's no question about it. And they're not going to do it through a law. They're going to do it because you won't be able to live without it. All your money is going to be in that chip. It's going to be a cashless society.
I mean, I've read many, many futurists who say the time of wealth will be simply wire transfers or credit transfers.
What's that? It's computer money. Look, when you go to the bank to borrow money, let's say you're borrowing $50,000 or $1 million, whatever amount of money you're borrowing, and you go to the bank to borrow the money, and they approve your loan, and they sit at a computer, and all of a sudden you have $50,000 in your bank account. Where'd that money come from? It was created out of thin air. There was no money. But now you have to work and pay them interest to these guys who made the money from nothing. You have to pay them principal and interest for the rest of your life for something that cost them nothing to make. It's slavery. It's slavery. And what they're doing, everything is going through computer chips. You know, credit cards. First it was gold, then it was currency,
Silver, yeah,
right? Then it was credit cards. Now it's debit cards.
I also wanted to say a few other things.
I'm not sure 150 million is the correct number. I've been told 485 million, so I'm not sure what the right number is, but it's the same idea.
Okay. I also think that a caller a couple of times ago, he said that what would it take to get the ball rolling? I think that the United States, it won't be just the U.S., it'll be taxpayers in other countries who will see that their systems are based upon the debt of their central banks.
Exactly.
It won't be the central banks that are going to uprise. It'll be the people.
Exactly.
And now, exactly what that event will be, probably be the collapse of the Social Security system in anywhere from 15 to 25 years. At that point in time, you'll have a big enough event that could happen. However, in order to do what you're asking, the people have to understand the implications way ahead of when they're going to get really angry about the
right.
Social
But you know,
Security.
well, when you see my movie, you'll understand why I think what I think. My movie is getting standing ovations. Ordinary people are waking up to the truth, and I think this movie is going to have a dramatic effect on America and wake people up to what's happening. We were in the black community in Chicago last night, and I can tell you, they are going crazy. They want to put together million-man marches on Washington already when they learn what was going on. This thing is going to be huge because people are very upset. I don't think we have to wait 25 years.
Well,
I think we're in the midst of it now.
There's one more event that I think we have to do. We have to go full steam ahead to get ourselves energy efficient, not energy efficient, but energy independent as fast as possible. Because if we collapse the debt, then the countries that have the oil won't sell it to us.
Well, if you have a gold-backed currency, they would love to sell it to you.
Yeah, no.
Okay, thanks.
That's thank you. All right. Let's go here. This is Jack. Jack, you're on the show. Good evening.
Hi.
Hi.
You know, I got one thing. You know, you said that didn't we get rid of the silver certificates in about 1969? Went to the Federal Reserve note, which isn't worth the paper it's printed on.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're talking about getting people together. How can we get people together when the government is promoting a division between the Mexicans and the whites and the blacks? And just you had a prime example of it with Margie there, didn't you?
Well, that's
I'll hang up now. And
You're not going to get 100% of the people together. That's for certain. But you can get millions of people together who understand the truth, who are colorblind to race and all those kind of bigotry. There are millions and millions of people across America who are willing to stand up and do what's necessary. And we've done it before, and we can do it again. And I intend to be part of that, and I intend to help organize that. And from my point of view, from what I see happening, I see it beginning. I see the seeds of it more than starting. I see the idea festering, and I see people willing to come on board. So I can tell you from my experience, I think it's very feasible. Go to my website, freedomtofascism.com, and then sign up to get email alerts, sign up to volunteer, and become part of the movement.
This is Renee. Hey, Renee, you're on the show. Good evening. Renee.
Good evening.
Hi.
Yes, you have hit the nail on the head here. I applaud you.
Thank you.
I'm ready. I want to know when to move forward. And I just want to know, where can I see the movie? I'm in Colorado Springs.
Okay. In the Springs, I don't know, but again, the film is at Tamarack Square over in Hamden, and it starts on the 29th.
I agree.
And so, you know, what do you do on a national level? What do you do at the end of this man's term? Thank you, Renee. What do you do at the end of this guy's term?
Well, first of all, I would tell Renee, since you want to get involved, go on the website and sign up. Register. Anybody listening to the show tonight who wants to get involved, who knows that this country needs to be fixed, stand up and take part in what's necessary to happen, because we're going to do something about it. And in terms of the politicians are mostly cowards today. They're cowards. They're people who are in it for their own sake. They're not here to serve. As
careerists.
Exactly. And if they are here to serve, most of them don't know what the Constitution says, don't know what they're supposed to be serving for, you know, and they don't understand that America's not even a democracy. And so we need to get people into office that are committed people who want to return this country to its founding principles. That's what's important. And when elections are not run by how much money you have, by when networks have to put people on the air who have ideas, you know, instead of money, you know,
slick ads.
Slick ads. Not only that, but I mean, all the institutions back candidates. They promote. They give their money.
Totally agree.
Right? And
Totally
so it's part of the fascism. So somebody who really cares won't get any money.
I agree.
They won't get any money because they care. They want to do the right thing. Anybody who supports the Constitution, you'll never see them getting any money. You'll never see them getting any money.
It's interesting. One of my mantras is also public finance of elections, short-term access. And it doesn't work.